It's fall. Might not officially be the first day of fall, but it's cooling off. It rained here in Calgary for the last couple days quite heavily, which is good given our water restrictions and the slow death of my garden. But it's doing pretty well, so I thought I'd share that with you before it's completely gone. And typically I start over here in this little corner front. Today our little rose bush is not giving us much, but man, this 9-bark is so beautiful. Like, honest to Pete. It's gorgeous. The color's amazing. And then, our ever faithful red coral bells down there. And some new growth and blooms on this really sweet yellow columbine. Sadly, I still have one more in the back that needs transplanting. That rose is giving us a little bit of a final show. And my little pink potentilla. That big bouquet of daisies is done for. I might have to go in and give that a trim now that it's stopped raining. Yeah. That poor little potentilla down there is a white one. It's not very big. But when he gets water, he blooms. But it's been a bit sparse the last little bit. Some interesting things. In the spring I bought some annuals and I plopped them there. There's no color in this little corner, but it's kind of cool with everything's just fresh watered. Maybe overwatered, but it's gonna settle it in. This poor flower bed is overgrown with some sort of grass. I'm gonna have to yank all that out. But this year's been crazy busy and either crazy hot or wet. So not much time to get in the garden. Oh, a little bit going on that campfire rose back there. And some big stinky weeds. Wow. And this grass, my gosh, it used to be about the size of a football. Now it's about 4 feet around. You can see all of my cool Gaillardias popping up here, there, and everywhere. Oh, way back in here. Some daylilies. Those ones are out of my mom's garden. So they're a little precious to me. And it's giving us one final blast. Then there's the other campfire rose. It's gorgeous. It's just given away. That's a hydrangea. This one didn't bloom this year. We'll wait and see what happens next year. And mash, look at that. Crazy huge bouquet there. Can't remember their exact name, but they're just lovely. But they do. I'll have to try my Google Lens on them after. And then that willow, it's gone way up there. It's about 10 feet tall now. And one of the spireas is still blooming. Look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? And there's actually some buds on this daylily. Those great big overgrown bushes and my roses over there. But if I don't get too much sun in here, you can see this one daylily is still going to beat the band. And this hydrangea, well, it really likes where it is. It's giving us a grand show. Well, these are the size of small melons. I put my hand in there just so you can see. Sometimes it's hard to tell on photos and video. And then my decorative grass. Interestingly enough, it's a very short this year. Usually it's taller than me, and this year I'm taller than it. And it's already turned golden, which I feel this year is a little early. Yeah, my pots are starting to show their age, but maybe they just didn't like being watered with my shower water. We could catch the back side of the garden here. Let's see the rose. The pink potentilla is up there. And then I have a yellow one there, and it's got a few blooms on it. And the other rose back here in the corner, it's given us one last hurrah. Now then the big flower bed here in front of the window. What's having the party right now is the echinacea, the purple coneflower. They're massive. You can see, I can't believe how big they are this year. And then this, oh, little Miss Ladybug in there getting them aphids. Good job, missus. We need them gone. There's a couple things in the garden that will still bloom late in this year. But these are still blooming. Bugleweed. They still got some purple blooms on there. They're teeny. Look. I hope having the scale shares with you just this fingers, my poor little gate flowers. Too much heat, not enough water, but this one is gorgeous. Looks like its own little pot of fire. Let's go see what's happening in the garden. We'll go to the back garden. So this is my little fun spot here. I've got mini hostas. I found some more this year. I've got them in there. This is the blue mouse ears. It's been here a couple of years. You can see the leaves are quite tiny. But it's a great little spot for something that likes the shade and is wee. And then the astilbes have lost all their color. But oh my gosh, look at this one begonia. It's been loving this section. And there's my happy little bee gnome. That was from our crazy Sandy. We love it. And then this basket did all right. Any drop of water coming out of the sky hit it this year. Thank goodness. But the color's extraordinary. And then a much more dark coral kind of salmon going on there. And then way down in there, we've got these teeny little ferns called autumn ferns. And then this crazy bellflowers just going. Luckily it's not a creeping bellflower. And you can see that this willow picked up speed late in the year. Not much happening in my little sedum garden at the moment, except the weeds. And there we have some really fun little pink flowers. You can see, teeny. Let's take a stroll to the back here. Just thought I'd give you an update. You know, we've had the water restrictions, we've had some crazy heat, and last couple of days we had some crazy rain. This pot didn't do as well. I lost one of the begonias in the middle. This one, yeah, yuck. But it's still trying. Maybe we'll get one last shot out of there now that things are cooling down a bit. And my big globe spruce suddenly had a jump up this year, so it's a bit pointy. I'm gonna have to reshape that back into the ball it's supposed to be. And I've had a few perfect strawberries out of there. Hard to see them. But there's some. Just waiting. Oof, anybody want some raspberries? They need some picking. Yeah, mostly I grow fruit for the birds. The tomatoes going great guns here. Got at least a dozen large ones waiting. A couple getting ready to be picked. And way back here, kind of hit it a little bit. Oh, there we go. That's my other columbine. It's a purple one. I should get in here maybe and trim the tops off the lilies. Some crazy ferns here. Got the maidenhair back there, just going to town this year. And there's one of those other autumn ferns. She's got that beautiful golden hue to some of the leaves. I quite like them. Then lucky for me, at least I consider myself lucky, this hydrangea's going great guns too, but this one is turning a beautiful pink. Very vintage pink. Not quite as big-headed as the one out front. Not much bloom in there, but some more purple coneflower. Another hydrangea. This one hasn't bloomed. So we'll see what happens next year. Right? That's the thing with the garden. There's always next year. And this is another pink potentilla. It's getting quite large, but it wasn't happy this year. It bloomed a little bit. That's okay. And then this one is a sedum called Autumn Splendor. We might get you one more view of it before it gets too gross to be outside, but it's starting to pink up and it turns a beautiful red. No fountain, but geez, it's almost full. The birds are still in it. This morning there was a bird party. The robins were out. Chickadees were here. That's a lot of rain. Might have to plug it in for a minute and fill the top tiers. They empty pretty quickly when the birds are in there. Oh, hey, Peggy. Yeah. Hopefully I'll be at the store when you're at the store. I got some things to do. And then this begonia back here, it's done amazing. And the ivy in it is doing fabulous. It gets just enough shade to be happy. Yeah. Well, again, still didn't get a single flower this year on my clematis. And it did bloom last year, but gosh, the way the rain and the heat came in this year. This is my shade garden. It's so quiet and calm back here. I might have to plunk a chair in there. Except, of course, I'd have to mind the canopy, which is quite often full of birds. And Michael said, "What happened to your basket?" I'm like, "I don't know. There's at least two begonias there. One day they were there and the next day they weren't. So I figure some squirrel or bird gave it a yank, took it away. That's okay. And then like there's this beautiful pink one here. Look at that. Isn't that stunning? And then yellow with a touch of peach in it. My fuchsias, now that it's cooled, they started to bloom. When it's really hot, they're like, nope, we're not. But they're so pretty. Might have to come back out with just the camera in a bit and take a few shots. So in the winter, a lot of this stuff has gone down flat. So I've done a few fun things in the garden. I have some metal art. I have an old bed frame over on the other side. And this summer, I saw that little bed frame. Just going to put it in the dark behind the tree because it's so bright white. Oh, BTS, we're in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Just an hour out from the Rocky Mountains. And then the little fruits are coming up on this. I love them. Those bright white balls. And again, the ferns, usually the ferns back here are massive, but they didn't do it. And then my prehistoric plant, Ligularia. Yeah, lots of times it's up, sticks into the window up there. But not today. Not this year. This planter is doing just a wee bit better. It did lose a begonia there and a begonia there. And one on that end. So somebody's maybe feathering a nest with flowers. I don't know. I'm just grateful that they're still there and they're still blooming and that we've had enough shower water or enough rain to keep them going. The ferns are starting to show the wear and tear. They're usually done in this time of year. There we go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's just a couple other plants beating the band back here. I forget the name of this one. I'm not sure I love it, but I don't hate it enough to tear it out. But it's kind of done now. It has that beautiful purple flower on it. Anyway, maybe not as exciting as in the spring. And these poor little geraniums that spent their winter in the garage. Oh, they survived the summer. So, there you go. Well, I hope to see some of you at the store later today. I got super excited earlier this week. A neighbor lady asked if she could have some apples. I have to tell you that these are some of the best crabapple jelly apples out there. If any of you want some more, you are invited to come pick yourself 10, 20, 30, or 50 pounds worth. She cleaned off quite a few of the lower branches with a short ladder, step stool. But I have enough for a ton more of you. Anyway, fabulous. Thank you for joining me. Hope we see you soon. I'll be at the store. I'm going to be working on the new Kimberbell gingerbread event. I'll have those samples hopefully into the store next week. We've got all the September and October samples made for the OESD free embroidery event. And I'm also about to do this year's Gingerbread Village piece, which was that 3D carousel. So stay tuned. I'd be happy to share those with you. Thanks for joining me in the garden. We'll see you soon.